If you feel like your bad habits or addictions is ruining your life, more specifically, if you feel like the porn addiction is ruining your life and is making you miss out on opportunities or just making you feel less like yourself and kind of stripping you away from being the best version of yourself, it's just a few things I want to, share with you. So for one, most of y'all know and most of, my early viewers came from the video about porn addiction. I was addicted to porn. I went down my journey with highs and lows, but I came out on top and I conquered myself. But first and foremost, if you're really serious about this journey, you gotta get off social media. Social media has become a battleground, a pre-game lobby. It is just a circus for pornography. We get all these messages, all these overstimulating activities that's making you want to get all this cheap dopamine. And on top of that, you got all these people that are half naked, all these ads with half naked people on it. It's just a lot of things enticing you, making you want to go to the next level and go search it up on the website. You know what I'm saying? And then we going through stuff and you watching all these memes and all this stuff make you feel lonely. And then you got all these beautiful women on social media that are curved by the gods with no flaws at all to the eye. And it just make you want to do those things. You in very vulnerable states in your life and in your mind and all these things coming through and they just tarnishing you. But you got to take that accountability because you own those social media sites. You scrolling on your phone past 12. You up by yourself and you thinking that the thoughts that creep into your mind at 3 a.m. is your real thoughts. And you notice they not your real thoughts because as soon as you exercise those thoughts, you feel nasty. You get that clarity. So you got to get off social media. You got to stay away from the things that are enticing you to make these bad decisions. Like I always use the analogy, if you're on a diet, you shouldn't be surrounding yourself with junk food and snacks because these things just sitting there on the counter like, hey, buddy, come indulge. We know you got a better purpose. We know you want to be better, but just come get some. It's easy. It tastes good. It's comfortable. It's easy to stay the same because it's comfortable. But one thing you're going to learn about growth is that the language of growth is discomfort. And the reason why it's so hard to break away from these things is because you have to learn another language. You got to learn to find comfort in not being comfortable. So you got to get away from all these things that are easy to do. You got to get away from all these habits that are easy to fall into because you see the result of your life. You see the result of your life and you're not happy. That's why you have to watch videos like this. And it's honestly sad, but not sad for the reasons that you think. It's sad that we could just so easily get fooled and we have to use videos and things like that to get out of these things. But in reality, the same way we got in these things is the same way we got to get out of them. Sometimes we have put so much power outside of ourselves. We have to find somebody that still believes in us and has been through the things that we've been through so that we can see that and in turn shine that light back into ourselves. So to not get off topic, you know what I'm saying? Let's get off of social media. Get all the things out of your life that are enticing you. If you got people that are around you and all they talk about is sex and all this stuff and make you overly horny, you need to stop conversating with those people or let them know like, yo, I'm on a new journey. You know what I'm saying? If you can help it, I don't want to hear all that. And if they not willing to, you know what I'm saying, stop talking about that. If that's their substance, then you just don't need to be around those people. Sometimes you don't even have to say anything to people. You can just back off. Let's say you older and you got a bunch of friends that go to the strip club every weekend. You probably don't need to be going there. But one thing I want you to do is not be so hard on yourself because it's hard to fight an addiction. It's hard to be better when all you do is beat up on yourself. You got to be real with yourself. And when you make mistakes, you got to see where these mistakes come from. All right. So let's say I relapse. Where did that relapse come from? What state of mind was I in? What part of weakness did I allow to take over? Okay. I was up at 3 a.m. I was texting this girl. She said a little something. I said a little something. I started to feel aroused. And now I allowed myself, since I'm there lonely, to go on that website and rub one out. Right? So one, we need to fix our sleep schedule. We need to stop talking freaky after dark. You know what I'm saying? And we need to spend time with ourselves and not use all these overstimulating things. We really need to cultivate a relationship with ourselves. And then when we make a mistake, don't beat up on yourself because that's just making the cycle continue. You have to take a step back and be like, all right, what was that? And it's going to get to the point where every decision you make in your life, you will think through that decision. So right now today, let's say I picked up these. The reason why I picked up these is because I was making a video and I thought about something and I needed something to demonstrate why I picked it up. That was the thought behind me picking these up. There's no other reason. Okay. Now let's say it was junk food over there. I'm sitting here kind of got a little urge to eat something, look over, junk food is over there. Now, me personally, this is what I do. It's like, all right, it's a bag of chips. I know that's not good for me, but I want them. Why do I want those? Because it tastes good. You know what I'm saying? And they add all these chemicals to it that make it taste good, make you want to eat it more. And then I think, all right, well, just because I want it, do I need it? Absolutely not. Didn't I say I was on a diet and I'm trying to stay away from processed foods? Absolutely. So I don't need that, right? Then sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I just don't really care right now. Weakness, whatever you want to call it, but I'm conscious of the decision. That's why I don't have to beat myself up on it. And maybe that process took a few seconds. It may look like that, but in real time, it's like boom, 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 boom. But that's how it's going to be. But in order to get to that point, you have to really focus on those things. So whenever you get ready to do something, whenever you get ready to do something you're not proud of, especially, just ask yourself why. Take yourself through these series of questions and see where it gets down to. Just like, you know, if you're sitting there and you're like, all right, I'm about to go watch porn, right? And you say, well, why do I want to do that? It's probably going to be something along the lines of, I feel lonely, I'm here by myself, I'm aroused, I don't have anybody to interact with, you know, somebody showed me this, blah, 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 blah. But it all revolves around some type of comfort, some type of feeling. You want to feel something. And we get addicted to that feeling. And the side effects of that, it's horrible, man. It's horrible because when you alone doing that, you imitating the feeling of connecting with somebody. But then when you rub one out, you sitting there alone and you feel sticky and you stink mentally, physically, all that. And it just makes you feel bad naturally. And that's not a healthy way to deal with your issues. You got to deal with your issues head on, fix that, and you know what I'm saying? Then it's another side to life. But the thing I want to talk about also and remind people is the war is not against masturbation. Masturbation is normal. Sometimes you have to do something. There's health reasons. There's a lot of reasons behind masturbation and just practicing and, you know, releasing stress and things like that. But the problem is porn. It's the overstimulation. It's that nasty feeling. You watching other people have sex to the point where some people get addicted to watching other people have sex. They watching other people doing things that they want to do, and it's making them feel bad because they not really doing that. And it tricks your mind. And then most of the time when you get so overstimulated, you rubbing it out as fast as you can. That's training your body to release as fast as it can. To the point when you finally have a real human interaction, you might either A, not be attracted to them, B, you might have unrealistic expectations and try to do things that are not normal. And then a lot of porn is not about real love and about real connection. It's just about the male pleasure and just dominating this girl. It's not even, they're not even worried about the girl. And most people do that. They get with a girl and just stab them and, you know what I'm saying, as hard as they can, as fast as they can. So it screws the mind. And then on top of that, with the whole premature ejaculation thing, you rubbing one out as fast as possible. That's training your mind and body to release as fast as possible, almost making you evolve into a rabbit. You know what I'm saying? That's a little sex rabbit. So when you get with a real person, man, she could touch you wrong and you didn't explode it because you've trained yourself through that. So it's all these bad side effects that you got to look at versus that temporary feeling of comfort versus that temporary feeling, you know, of you getting those desires off. You have to understand that in order to grow, you have to be uncomfortable, you have to get familiar with discomfort, and you have to put your desires aside, conquer your desires. In the worst time I had with the whole porn addiction, I was disgusted with myself. And I said, you know what? I ran across the semen retention video. I said, I'm going to try this. I lasted like 2 days, and then there was a few more days, and then like a week, and then like 2 weeks. And then after that, I went like a month, and then the longest I went was 8 months without ejaculating at all. Like I said, when I finally did, it wasn't because of me. It wasn't because of my hands. But it's not just the semen retention. It's no superpower in it. It's what you learn from it. You learn how to control yourself. You learn where your desires come from. You just learn a lot by yourself, and you're no longer controlled by your desires. Many people, they get in relationships, and a lot of people have sexual frustration because they get to the point where they about to have this sexual encounter and their partner's not feeling it. And they get this ball of rage like, you led me on. No, bro. No. You control your desires, or your desires control you. You know, I've been around people when it got to that point, they just wasn't feeling it. They had their own things, and a lot of them will start crying because they not used to somebody understanding. I'm like, yo, what's wrong? Why you crying? I just don't want to do it tonight. It's just not. I'm like, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I help you put on your clothes. I rub you to sleep because that's not my focus. But it took me conquering myself to see all these different sides and all these aspects and how it really changes your mind. And I'm here to tell you there is hope, because at one point in time I was lost in the darkness, and it wasn't like I was addicted for 2 days and noticed. No, it was bad. It was bad, and I can admit that because I want you to know that you're not alone. I'm not afraid to say it. I don't care what nobody's saying. I know, like when I posted my first video, people was like, Batman couldn't get that information out of you, and that's why you at the state you in. That's why you in the state you in, and that's why the world is in the state they in, because everybody too scared to share experience. We all human, we all done things we not proud of. But if you hold all that stuff in, you got somebody right there that you could change their life just by explaining your experience. Because one thing about us, we like to feel relatable to people. We like to feel like we're the same. And we look up to a lot of people that are not relatable to us, and it's only a certain level of connection that we have. But there's no connection like when you feel like you can relate to somebody. Y'all see eye to eye. Y'all got the same struggles. You know, what would be the difference of you seeing some rich dude become more richer rather than somebody in your situation or somebody poor become rich? You're like, oh snap, he had it worse than me, and look at him. Or we was just the same. We went to school together. This dream life is more achievable because we seen eye to eye at once. But when somebody is over you and they talking down to you, all you can do is look up. So I'm gonna always share my experience with y'all. I'm gonna always speak from the heart, truthfully so. But I'm a living testimony. I'm proof. You know what I'm saying? That you can overcome your desires. Yeah, it's hard. It's a journey, but you can't look at it like that, man. You just got to take it one day at a time. But like I said, if you really feel like you just can't go without it, just try to go without porn. Just start small. Aim small, miss small. Aim small, miss small. Get rid of porn. Get off social media. Stop enticing yourself. Stop putting yourself in situations to fail. We want to win, but we put all the odds against ourselves. We beat up on ourselves. We continue to put ourselves in environments that cause us to do things. And we're not blaming the environments. We're not blaming porn, because we are to blame. We have to take responsibility for what we are doing. But that don't mean you can't change your environment and make things easier for yourself. It's just like if you was in a place and there was drugs everywhere and you eventually became a drug addict. Yeah, it's your fault that you became a drug addict. But bro, you became a part of your environment. There would be no way to be a drug addict if there were no drugs around. Catch my drift? So you got to get all that porn off. You got to get all that, bro, y'all get the point, man. I'm talking in circles. I'm passionate about it. It's kind of getting me fired up. But y'all get the point. But it takes time. It takes patience with yourself. It takes some love and understanding for yourself. And it takes some bravery. Because during this journey, while you quit and while you retain and while you getting away from social media, you know, when you're running across these things, block those things. You're not interested. You don't want to see it. But the easiest way is just to get off of social media. When you run across all these things, you're going to notice all this stuff starting to come out of you, right? All this trauma, all this stuff you've been putting off, stuff you didn't want to deal with, and you got to deal with those things. It's important for you to not run away from your problems anymore. Because behind all these addictions, behind all these attachments to bad habits is unworked trauma. And I'm going to use that word heavily and lightly. You know what I'm saying? Heavily and lightly. But you got to work on yourself. You got to be patient with yourself. And you got to be your own friend, man. And don't take your weapons away. Don't stack the odds against you. It's just that simple. But it takes time. It takes consistency. It takes persistence. So what I want y'all to do, man, if you can manage it, and you can manage it because you're watching this video. As y'all seen, a lot of my videos lately, they have been ending with challenges because I want people to be accountable. I don't just want you to take in this information. I want you to be accountable. If you're really serious about this, for the next 10 days, no social media. If you have a problem with pornography, for the next 10 days, no social media. And I want you to come back here after those 10 days, check in with me and tell me how hard it was. Tell me what you learned, what you had to overcome in those 10 days. Because if you can't go 10 days without stimulating yourself, then I already know what you're going to do when you have access to it. Because that's why porn addiction and all these things are so easy. We have too much access. So you have to limit the access, right? So no social media for 10 days. You can watch YouTube. Because you gotta hear the messages from me. You can watch YouTube and, you know what I'm saying, communicate with your friends. Get their numbers, bro. We don't need social media. And for 10 days, you can lock in and not talk to nobody if you're really serious. But for 10 days, no social media, obviously no porn. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the fence with the whole masturbation thing. You know, me personally, I didn't ejaculate because I wanted to conquer all of myself. I didn't want to, get addicted to that because nothing is inherently bad, but you have to do everything in moderation. So if you can't do something in moderation, you don't need to do it at all. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I would say 10 days, no social media, obviously no porn. Come back here in 10 days, tell me what you learned, how was your experience, and what you had to overcome and things like that. And then you just go from there. Maybe you need another 10 days, or maybe those 10 days will teach you something. But I guarantee you, if you can go 1 month to 3 months without diving back into that, and in that period of time when you're making decisions, you starting to see why you're doing everything. In that span of time, whether it's from 10 days to months, I want you to think about everything you do, every decision you make, every food you eat. Ask yourself why you're doing it, what's the thought behind it, and get down to the nitty gritty of it, right? I'm sitting here right now, I'm bored. It's like, all right, man, I need to go somewhere. I get up to go get in my car, I sit in my car, I'm like, all right, so why am I in my car? Because I wanted to go somewhere. Why did I want to go somewhere? Because I was bored. Why was you bored? Because there was nothing to do. Okay. Afraid to be by yourself? You could have read a book. You could have sat down in silence. You could have thought about something like, what are you running from? You understand? And it don't even have to be that deep sometimes. Sometimes you might just want to go on a drive for a peace of mind. That is why. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't, you know what I'm saying, comment and let me know if I'm being confusing. Because like I said, I get passionate about these things and I go in circles. But let me know if I'm making sense to y'all. Get to the nitty gritty of why you make decisions. If somebody punch you in the face and you punch them in the face, ask yourself why. Okay, so why did I punch them in the face? Because they punched me in the face. But why did they punch me in the face? Because I was talking stuff about them. Well, in order to avoid this situation, maybe I can shut my mouth so somebody don't punch me, so I don't have to punch somebody. Solution. You understand what I'm saying? But bottom line, man, I just hate the fact that this addiction and this issue is not taken seriously. And a lot of people that clown people for this stuff, they have addictions themselves. When I released my first video, I had somebody try to expose me on Twitter. Imagine being addicted to porn. This is pathetic. Looked at his profile. It was just a bunch of reposts of naked girls. At least I admitted mine, but I overcame mine. You know what I'm saying, probably pushing 25, 30, and you know what I'm saying, you running away from the fact that you're addicted to porn. I've conquered myself. I'm not perfect. I still have flaws, but I can see mine, and I work on mine every day. And if I ever get to the feeling like I'm losing myself, I step back, I go down, and in the same things I tell y'all, I go back and take my own advice. Be very intentional about what I'm doing. Think about everything I'm doing. I get down to the nitty gritty of my issues and I work on them. And I'm not afraid to admit them. So, bottom line, if you're still here, man, you can tell your story in the comments. Somebody can use that as help. Tell about your progress. If I've helped you or if somebody else has helped you and you overcame something, or even if you're still going through the process, just share your story. And I want y'all to get more comfortable with not just opening up yourself for pain and being vulnerable to, being hurt, but just sharing something with people. Because another reason why people open up so easily to me is because I have no problem with sharing things. I'm not going to tell you all my business, but I tell you something relevant that will make you open up and realize, like, oh shit, he's not afraid of being judged, so why should I be? And that's what helps me have such great conversations with people, because you don't have to hold back. I'm not going to judge you. We done all done things we're not proud of, but it's about the way you see it. It makes all the difference. So, shout out to y'all, man. If you're watching this, shout out to you, man. And I'm just here to tell you that things will get better. And I got you, man. You just let me know. I got you. And only way is up from here, man. Forward and up. That's all we can do. Is don't go back. Don't talk about what you used to do or I've been addicted for 10 years. No. Start today. Delete the past. Stay present. Win every day. Win every day. And another tip I want to give you before I leave here. I said that 10 days because I want you to mark those 10 days so you can come back here and check in. When you're on a journey, when you're getting away from something, stop counting the days. Make the days count, because what are you counting for? You don't have to count how far you've been away from something if it's no longer your identity. I don't go around saying, oh, well, I'm 3 years free of porn. No, because porn is not, watching porn is not in my identity anymore. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to you got to sever all the bonds linked with that stuff. I'm nicotine free. No, you don't smoke nicotine. You don't indulge in nicotine. It's no longer your identity. Stop attaching those things with you. You understand? But I could talk on literally for hours about this stuff, but I'm gonna stop. All right, I'm gonna stop and just tell you I love you. I care about you. I'm here for you. I'm gonna do all I can for you, and if this don't help you, I'm gonna find another way. That's all I'm here to say. You know what I'm saying? So y'all take care of yourselves. Check in with your boy, and I want to see challenge accepted in the comments. Like I said, I want to see stories in the comments. I want to see challenge accepted. I want to see day one. I want to see all that. So if I don't see that, I know you ain't watched this video all the way through. If you ain't watched this video all the way through, it's nothing more that I can do. But salute you, wish you the best, and hope that you find a way. But you take care of yourself, and I'll be here.